Welcome to part 2 of my 18 months of working with it journey, the Nigerian law school phase. So, eventually, I resumed. However, my posting was not done. I resumed nonetheless. I'd already paid my fee, so I was allowed to stay on campus. I got accommodation, I got a room, but I was not allowed to register. I started going to classes. The first week, I didn't understand what was going on. I was confused because I thought I was going to be able to survive with a worker. I will attach a picture of when I resumed law school. I looked like what I was going through. I started attending classes. Mind you, the notes I was writing when I was at home was from Port Harcourt campus. However, now I've resumed to Lagos campus, so there was a mix-up somewhere. So I had to catch up. During that period of when we started classes, I was getting a lot of stares. Like people just stare me down. Like, what are you doing here? Literally. And it was when I resumed that I realized that I needed help with a lot of things. I couldn't get water myself because for a couple of weeks or months when I resumed, water wasn't running in the hostels. So people were literally fetching water outside. How will I fetch water outside? There is no way. So we always had people that used to come help us. My roommate and I, and people in the other room, we used to have people that used to come and help us get water. Also, I realized that I could not wash my clothes myself, which was the part that personally undid me because I was confused. Like, what do you mean I have clothes piled up for 7 days unwashed and I don't know how to go about it? So I had friends, colleagues from universities that were really, really, really helpful. I had some colleagues that used to take my clothes home. For those of them that lived in Lagos, take my clothes home, help me to wash, even some iron and bring them back. Oh my God, God bless them. And I had friends that if I needed water, I could call. If I needed to get food, maybe after class and I was tired, I could call. So I had all of those in place. However, it was still pretty stressful because a worker is heavy. Having to walk the distance wasn't long, by the way, but having to walk that distance with it. By the time I get to class, sometimes I'm already sweating profusely. Like, I'm sweating, I'm dressed. So usually I get to class early. I go to class by 7 a.m. and class did not start until 9. So I get to settle down, calm down, and if I needed to do any revision, I had the time to. So that's what I was doing. Fast forward to April, I decided I didn't want to use a worker again and I wanted to start attending class 1. So I transitioned to a walking stick. The Friday that I started using the walking stick, I dragged one of my friends to class 1 so that it could help me. I dragged my friend to class 1. I used the hand as support and I was using the walking stick because that was my first time of using it and I didn't know how it was going to work out. So I went for class 1 that day and I came back, and since then I just decided I wasn't using the walker anymore. However, prior to that, I fell sick. Remember in the part 1, I said I had a lot of blood transfusion because one of my veins ruptured and I bled in my leg. So I had 9 pints of blood transfused. By the time I resumed law school, the stress, I wasn't eating well. I don't know why I wasn't eating well, but I wasn't eating well. Eventually, my body just decided that it was tired, and to use a walker you need strength because that thing is heavy. So I didn't have strength and I could not carry the walker. And then maybe the water in law school wasn't, maybe I was reacting to it. I had diarrhea. Everything they were giving me in the clinic wasn't working. My parents had to send somebody to come get me, and immediately they rushed me home to the hospital where the operation was done. In the hospital where the operation was done, they didn't know that I went to law school because my doctor advised against it. So my friends could not even tell them that this is what happened though. She went to law school, so we had to keep it. And we just told them that I'm not feeling well. Immediately we got there, just started giving me injections. Mind you, I was already pale. So my PCV was very low. I don't know what the standard PCV is. I think my PCV was 28 or 25. Because I remember they were really concerned. So I got treated. I stayed the weekend at home and I later went back to law school. That was sometime in March. So it was in April that I transitioned to the walking stick. And the first day I used the walking stick to class on the Monday, everybody was happy. Everybody was literally happy. Everybody was happy. Even the staff members were I don't know, there was this joy I was seeing on their faces and they were very happy for me. And I was happy too because that walker, it was heavy. It was really, really heavy. Fast forward to externship. The court I got posted to, the court had story buildings, magistrate courts, Iagonku, story buildings. However, for the first couple of weeks, the court I was in was just in one building. It was like a complex, but it wasn't on the top floor. Then few weeks into the externship, into the chamber, into the court attachment, we got transferred to a court that was in the complex in the story building, and I needed to go like flight of stairs to get to the court, get there in time, make sure I'm settled before the court sits. After court attachment, we had chamber attachment. My fault, I didn't inform my parents to arrange transfer for me for the chamber attachment. So the man that was carrying me for the court attachment traveled. My dad had to be carrying me to the law firm every day because that was the only way. Except I would be urging ride every day. Like the distance is a lot. So my dad used to take me to the chambers 6 weeks, and that was it. When we resumed back after externship, I had my portfolio assessment. My portfolio assessment was smooth. I mean, I did everything I was supposed to do. My logbooks were complete. All of the things were supposed to attach. I had everything. However, immediately they saw me. They were like, "What happened to you? Why are you even here?" Right? And every question they had, I was able to answer. Within 10 minutes, I was out. It was so fast and smooth. I was very grateful. Fast forward to mock trial. I wanted to participate in mock trial because I'm like, I'm not going to allow the fact that I'm using a walking stick, but I didn't want to do cancel. I didn't want to do cancel. Guess what I did? I did control this trial. I'm going to attach a picture, and I'm really glad that I did that, or that I got to do that. I really enjoyed it. And then we started preparing for exams. In October, we're already preparing for exams. I registered for ICMC, and few weeks to ICMC and bar finance exam. My bar finance exam was in November, and this was in October. During one of the revision classes, I can remember it was corporate law practice. All of a sudden, I just realized that I could not stand up. Like, I could stand up, but there was so much pain in my leg. Apparently, it's called spasm, and it's a part of the healing process whereby if you sustain that type of traumatic injury, after a period of time, the nerves in the affected area, they start to come alive and be active again, and it can be painful, but the pain reduces over time and it gets better. It just means that the healing is ongoing and that you're getting better. That's just basically what it means. However, I didn't know what it was called then. I was in so much pain, it didn't make sense, and I wanted to leave the class before the end of the class because I wanted to go to the health center. I figured that if I needed to leave the class, I needed to leave early so that I could get to the health center and I would not have to move with the crowd and all of those. I got up to stand and leave the class and I could not. Like, I literally could not stand up. Even the unaffected leg failed me. So immediately people saw me, they just ran to my side and they helped me out of the class. I was in so much pain. I was crying, I was wailing. Somehow they got me to the health center. When we got to the health center, they were just injecting me with all sorts. Like, they were just, by the time they were done injecting me, my limbs, like, I could not lift my hand. And my friend went with me. They transferred me to a wheelchair. And it was my friend Ian. My friend wheeled me to my room. And while this boy was wheeling me to my room, this boy was telling me, "Oh, can I see people staring at me?" My vision wasn't focused. I don't know what the injection was, but it was bad. And mind you, this was few weeks of finance. Everybody was revising. I was revising as well. When we eventually got to the front of my room, apparently people had already gathered. I could not see them, like I mentioned earlier. My eyes were not focusing. So people helped him pull back the wheelchair so that I could carry me, and he carried me into my room. Mind you, by the time the injection they gave me eventually wore off, it didn't do anything. The pain was still there, like it was very much still there. I was still in so much pain. I had this medication that I got from the hospital where the operation was done and where I was actually treated. So I looked for it. Mind you, I don't like using medication, so I had not had cause to use it prior to that, and I used it. I felt so much better. However, I was advised to bathe with hot water. Now, if you know law school, you know things like boiling ring, electric kettle. I think they are contraband or something like that. So nobody had. Literally, I had to beg people to help me buy water. I was buying hot water to bathe with so that the spasm would reduce and the pain will not be as bad. As a result of that period where I was figuring myself out, I was in so much pain from the spasm. I missed a lot of my revisions, so I was struggling to make up time for when I had already missed. Eventually, I did. I did before the exam. Fast forward to bar finals exam. I mean, we did the exam and we went back home and we're expecting results. So yeah, that was what my law school journey was like, working with it. I do not remember. Well, I know that I had like a lot of difficult moments. Times that people will come and ask me unreasonable questions. Times that people will just stare. Times that people will just stare. And I had a lot of people that were really, really helpful. I had a lot of downtime. But I had my parents, I had God. I know that I cried. I cried a lot. Loss was already stressful in itself, but imagine having to do it with a worker. I was stressed a lot, but I can't even remember ever crying publicly about it. So that's my working with a journey law school phase. Thank you for watching.